Overnight, the fire continues to push past the fire breaks, outrunning the strike teams. And news comes that another major fire has broken out in the northern part of the state. The commander's request for additional resources is rejected. This team is on its own. By the third day of the fire, it's clear that there's no relief in sight. The firefighters must make do with the resources they have in hand. A force now 1,900 strong.
Okay, good morning. We're going to go ahead and get started with our operational briefing for the lick incident.
The team must change strategies if they hope to contain the fire anytime soon.
Late in the afternoon yesterday, our plan was to cut across and eventually get up into here with our fire and our control lines. Naturally, the fire didn't cooperate. We've got what may be about 1,000-acre slop over in here that's well established, and so we have once again backed off, and we'll follow a road system on both sides now of this main drainage and where this slop over is.
Warm and another dry day. The fuels out here are really dry as well. Probability of ignition in most of this stuff is about 89% forecast at the heat of the day. If you get embers across the line, it will start a spot fire.
Okay, with the air program, we're going to try and hit this thing pretty hard. What we're looking at is we're going to have an air attack over the fire at about 0700 this morning. The helicopters, they're going to have their briefing and be ready to go about 0800.
With the fire spreading out of control on several fronts and crews stymied by traffic jams on the park's narrow roads, the command team orders in the big gun, the world's only firefighting jetliner, a DC-10, which drops a stream of fire retardant a mile long. When dropped, the compounds in the pink slurry spark a chemical reaction which absorbs heat, releases water vapor, and leaves a protective heat-resistant coating on the ground. The goal is to slow the progress of the flames, buying the strike teams on the ground precious time to finish laying their fire breaks. The command team has decided to surrender more than 10,000 additional acres to the fire, falling back several miles from the flames and making use of existing fire lines and ridgetops that will serve as natural fire breaks. Rob and his crew have been reassigned to a position several miles from where they started. They've raced far ahead of the southern edge of the wildfire, giving themselves ample room to establish a new fire break.
Today's operation is we've backed way off from the main fire, and what we're looking to do is use this ridgetop we're standing on to our advantage. It's a great place to stop a fire, so once we get our crews in position, we're going to start lighting this brush on fire, burning these lines in, back into the main fire. If we accomplish that, then we're going to secure several miles of the southern fire line of this particular fire.
This is for the days I'm away from the wife. I'll get this thing. Escape routes and safety zones. Identify them as you're going down. All of you. Watch out for these drainages. You got a lot of chimneys and chutes. Situational awareness. Everybody loves the fire. It looks cool and everything. We've got to have eyes to the green. Okay, we got to watch for spots. It's going to be your biggest problem. Alrighty? Limited resource, limited access, poor terrain, the whole ball of wax. Alright? Really heads up. If something stands up on the back of your neck, you better say something. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. Make sure you get it started, okay? Because if it ends up starting down here and it doesn't catch in here, it's going to rip. Okay? Make sure you get a little pocket started, crush it if you have to.
Once again, the team is employing a backburn to create a fire break. But this time, they have significantly scaled up the size of their operation.
We can't get to it from here until the dozer gets here.
I think what we're dealing with here is the general wind pattern.
Yeah.
They only have so much effect.
Only so much.
Anything out here is worth trying. I mean, the beauty of it, you never get this, right? A road that goes out and you can burn both sides.
Exactly.
You can experiment there forever. What a piece of gold that is.
They'll scorch dozens of acres of the park along this ridgeline road to create a massive stretch of blackened land, hoping that the fire will choke when it reaches their line.
1476. You bringing it down? All right, keep moving, Garrett. Got that torch? Come light it.
Right down in there a little bit and then bring it back out.
We don't get to pick when or where these fires are going to start, but when we have a lot of room to work, like we do out in this park, we can choose where we're going to fight that battle.
Oh yeah, reaching in there is great.
Starting to pick up, too.
pretty good considering it's going against the wind. So pine cones are helping.
Watch that green. Watch up above for embers. You guys stay alert. Hold that line.
By 4 p.m., Rob and his firefighters finally secured this section of the fire line. With that mission accomplished, it's now a waiting game to see whether nature cooperates. And if the firefighters' efforts have finally stopped the lick fire in its tracks. At daybreak, the camp awakens to a miraculous sight, a thick blanket of fog. At last, the weather has turned in favor of the firefighters and given them the first big break in the campaign.
At the base camp for the Lick Fire and Gilroy, crews here are buoyed by news they may have turned the corner on the fire line. Meanwhile, firefighters are being helped by cooler temperatures and calmer winds. Last night they were able to build some good fire lines. More than 27,000 acres have burned. The blaze is 35% contained. At the fire camp in Gilroy, Betsy Gebhardt, KCBS.
Crews know they can't stop for long to catch their breath. The window of opportunity is small. The fire has let down its guard. The team must quickly deliver the knockout punch. Fire breaks must be reinforced, and any stray bits of fire that are not contained must be completely stamped out. If the firefighters delay, the afternoon winds will push away the fog and fan the flames back to life. But the fog, while cooling the fire, has also spoiled visibility, thwarting one of the firefighters' most powerful tools, air support.
You're down, dude.
Grounded pilots take the opportunity to enjoy much-needed relaxation, but it's short-lived. Knowing that today may be a critical turning point, Air Operations Director Dan Burns assembles his pilots.
And this seems to be the day that we're going to be able to try and get around the corner on this thing. If we can fly it, we're going for it. I think today's the day. If once this lifts and we get the fixed wing, you guys right now can go up there once Helco says come on up and just start pounding this.